Ah.
Hello, bienvenue dans le podcast homoheureux.fr. Je suis aujourd'hui en compagnie de Susanne. Susanne répète très souvent, je suis née au mauvais endroit, dans le mauvais corps. Et justement, nous allons parler de transidentité, de transsexualité, de transgenre. Je trouve que le parcours de Susanne est très intéressant. Et je te propose d'avoir une discussion avec elle pour nous partager un peu son expérience de vie. Bonjour Suzanne.
Bonjour à tous,
Et merci d'être là.
pas de problème.
Voilà, tu es venu ici au début pour prendre quelques jours de vacances dans la
Oui.
maison LGBT des Monts Bleus en Lozère.
Oui, c'est juste.
Voilà, tu es suisse,
Ouais, je
tu as
suis
64 ans, quasiment.
plus ou moins. Ouais.
Et,
Ouais.
voilà, tu es né homme, aujourd'hui tu es femme. Quand tu es né dans un corps d'homme.
Ouais, c'est juste. Je
Voilà.
suis né dans un corps homme et je suis une femme qui aime les femmes. Et
Oui.
il m'a fallu 50 ans pour réaliser où est vraiment mon problème. Et après ça, j'ai fait tous les tours et détours pour réaliser mon corps pour moi.
Yes. Donc, well, as a Swiss, you prefer to speak in English. Actually, you are more fluent, I guess. So you say you needed 50 years to see you have a problem somewhere?
Well, no, not exactly. It took me 50 years to find out where the problem was or
Okay.
where it originally came from.
Yeah.
Because before I kind of existed from here to here, and this below, I tried to. Now it sounds a little bit strange if I say I tried to manage with it, but I wasn't really feeling at ease. So I had to. I did what I could to live the life of a man, but actually it didn't fit. And then finally I had some midlife crisis, and with thinking what I'm going to do in the future, I said I would like to do only things that are for me. And so I started to open my female side, and the more I opened it, the better it got. And sometime I went to a group of people men that would wear women's clothing for going out. And then I found out when I had my first hair with me, I found out, wow, now I know. Now everything calmed down. It's like in a movie where the tone goes away and the picture stays. And I knew, now I know. It's not cross-dressing. It's not transvestite. I'm just a woman.
Okay.
And from then on, I went through all the stuff that I had to do.
And you were 50 years at this time?
Yes, plus minus, yeah.
Yeah. And you took something like 4 years to become completely a woman?
Yes. At that time in Switzerland, il faut... no, voilà. Sorry. I had to go through the whole thing, and it was first 2 years of psychological treatment with a specialist in that field. And after the 2 years, you could present yourself to, I did this at the hospital in Basel. And then they decided if you would be okay with your way of looking, to go out with that into your professional life, not only in your private life. And at that time I could change the hormones. So the testosterone was blocked and the estrogen was given. And another 2 years later, when they saw, the group of doctors saw that you were successful in the change, then I could do all the surgery that was necessary.
So, before about this transformation, you say something was okay here, and then below it was strange for you.
Yeah.
So you how do you feel? You were gay? You were hetero? How do you present yourself to outside?
For me, I think the women were always the more valuable persons in a way, because they understood what I was talking about and I understood what they're talking about. And when I was a kid or later on in school, avant le bac, quand on était jeune, the girls didn't understand me. With the boys, after 4 or 5 minutes, we were both lost. We wouldn't know how to further communicate and get into deeper discussions. So my focus was always on women. Now there was absolutely no reason to change that. So
yes. And I guess when you understand you are a woman, you want to share it with your family, brothers, sisters, or friends. How do you do that?
I only have one sister. My parents have been gone already.
Okay.
And I just told her I think I was on the phone because we don't have much contact actually. My group of friends is the more important part. And when I told her on the phone, and she said, okay. And then I said, but I still like women. Okay, well, this as well. She kind of said, but she laughed at it. So I thought, or I found out that she would take it good. But that's not always the case.
Yes. And, okay. So now you have been a woman for 10, 15 years?
15 years, yes. Yeah. Sure.
So
I've been a woman all my life, but I couldn't evolve.
Exactly.
I evolved 15 years ago, or started to evolve.
Yes. Yeah. So how do you feel now?
Perfect.
Yeah. It's obvious for you?
Yes.
Okay. And this obvious side was always there, finally? Or is something you took time to build and to feel comfortable with?
Yeah, sure. At the beginning, I mean, I had quite a lot of hair in my face and everything. And if you were, the moment I found out who I was, I still could not move perfectly or behave, or then you start to find out what is the other way of living. How does it work? How do you behave? How do you move? How do you talk? I had to learn to talk with what we call a female voice, which is not that easy, and I have lost some of it, but at the moment it's not so important anymore because I feel I can accept my body. I have some tattoos made on it. I would have never done that before because what would have been the reason? Now it's my body. I would like to.
And did you had some thought like, do I am a true woman? Do a woman will accept me as I am? Or do I have to play something?
No, not from. It depends. There are women that say you have to be born as a woman to be a woman. They're there, and I cannot convince them because I've been, so to speak, made by the surgeons as a woman. And I certainly miss a couple things in my body that some surgery didn't turn out well. And I also don't have ovaries. I don't have a womb. I don't have the chance to give birth to a kid. And for some people, men as women, this does not count as a woman then in this case. So yes, it is a little bit of concern that some people would not accept me. But on the other hand, there are so many people in the world we can avoid.
Yeah.
So,
what is your quel est ton rapport au corps? What is your link with your body today? Your body. Your body. What is your link with your body? Do you feel absolutely comfortable with it?
With the little, let's take this little stuff that didn't work out with the surgery. Let's take this away. With the rest, I'm perfectly at ease. It's also that I started, or I could finally move the way I want. I can express myself by my movements.
Yes.
And with my first wife in this hetero marriage, I was sometimes corrected. You're standing here in a funny way. And some years later, I found out that I'm still exactly in this way, standing, and now it's okay. But at that time, it looked kind of funny because a so to speak, male person would behave like that. But now there is no control anymore, no need for control. I'm just myself now.
Yeah. And And today you said you are. You can speak about a little bit about your job, because that's too is very interesting.
Yes, it's. I was happy to be in a big company, which was international company that was Swedish at that time.
Yeah.
Swedish people are really promoting that, or not promoting, but they give support if you do that. And I had a very good boss. So before I changed, almost a year within the company, I told him, and we met in the evening in a restaurant so he could see me in my new way of appearing. And he organized it quite well. And we did it during my vacation. I had 2 weeks off. And in the first week, they promoted an email that they would have a new employee after 2 weeks, and with a new picture of myself. And they gave the people a week to think it over. And the Monday after my vacation, I went through the whole house. It's 3 stories and about 50, 75 people. I introduced myself to all of them, and it was in 2012. And for many people, I was the first trans person they ever met. So they were quite happy that I came, and they knew how to see me, how to address me. It was organized perfectly, and it went perfectly.
Yeah, it's very great.
Yes.
I guess you had really good people surrounding you. And do you think this is because of Switzerland or because of your company?
It's partly because of the company. And I think it also depends on your personal situation. I was single at that time. Excuse me. And I could be myself anyway. So there was no fear of doing something wrong. So I could open up myself and just approach the people.
Yes.
And I think that's something, if you can do that, if you're in the same situation, it's very good if you approach the other persons. Even if it's more common now, the people are kind of not so sure because you look different, you talk different maybe, and the way you're addressed or they should address you, you give them a lot of support if you open up and you go to the people. So I think that would have made, or did make, a lot of difference.
Yeah.
But also the company that prepared it really well. Yeah.
This is great.
Really yes, it's
and
very lucky.
Yes, I had so many questions. Actually, we cannot say everything because time is count for sure. But yes, and actually on one other job is you are working on body as well.
Yes.
Can you speak a little bit about it, please?
Okay, sure. I had a bad experience with another woman which would not accept me the way I am. And I was very sad about that. And after some time, I had a lunch with someone else and the word of Tantra came up. And I thought, wow, c'est le fil de fer pour... and I started to look what this is, and I found out that there are lots of different opportunities to do that or to learn that, and I found a very good place. And the thing is, with the way this lady understands it, it's like accepting yourself and accepting your partner in Tantra, the way he or she is at the moment with this body they have, with the mood, with the whatever. And just accept what you have. And this was the opening for me, because there I could really go and just with all the stuff I don't have and I have, I could be at ease and learn how to, act also in an erotic way, in a good way. And after that, I was also doing an education on sexological body work. This is a means of learning how you yourself learn how you work. So you have a practitioner that tells you, and you work with him, you talk first, and you do some exercises yourself, and you learn how your body works, you react, where you're sensitive and all that. So that kind of gave me now really the chance to feel in this field, because that's quite different. If the ways of men and women experiencing sexuality and erotics is completely different in my mind from what I have experienced, and to learn deal with it and to accept it that it's different. Those two tools give me a great deal.
And today you are sharing those tools. You're kind of coach or something like this.
I tried to do that, but unfortunately, I was not able to complete the education. So I was trying. I did give up my own place, or I'm giving it up right now, and I will do it with some other person's place. So the thing is, I was very sad that I was not able to do the whole education. But on the other hand, I'm missing it. It's a possibility. I went through so many things, but people could do it much faster.
Actually, what I wanted to share is you may become, or you may I don't know, some kind of coach or support lady for transgender people.
I would like, if I have the possibility now. I found out that the English word of peer is something that's obviously a good thing, because if I can work with someone, I have experienced a lot of stuff in this field, and if I can help someone approaching the same position I have, or has a problem going through, then I could help. And maybe with the help of some people like you, I'm going to do this. It could be more on the side of talking about it, but it could also be that I go back into practicing and teaching the people how to touch or how to feel themselves. Yes, this is something. It's always. I did take profit of all the ladies all the lesbian ladies for sure, all the gay men. They were the first, and the lesbian ladies. And now the transgender people, whatever they did to open up society and to open up the thinking, I would also like, I did take profit, and I'd like to give back some by giving it to the next
pay
people.
It forward, yes, exactly.
Yes.
And and now I would have, I would like to talk about two main topics, if you agree, about self-esteem, self-confidence, finding your own place in society, in your own life, love. And second part, I would like to speak about transidentity, transsexuality, transgender, homosexuality, about society, etc. How did you feel right away your place as a woman when you enter in the pastry shop or a shoe shop or in your office?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And did you have always this self-confidence as a woman?
It's how can I express this? First, when I started to open up my female side, there were little steps, like I was painting my toenails, no one would see it and stuff like that. But whatever I did, and I could also share with other people, it's like I had someone, some hand in my back that would support me. So for people watching me now, it's the whole thing. But I did it in lots of small steps, piece by piece. And every time I did something new and opened up something in my personality, I felt this force in the back, so to speak, that would support me. So step by step.
Exactly, step by step means you are discovering the next step.
Yes.
Time after time.
Yes.
Because we need to process it in mind, adopt, all right?
Yeah.
So you need to learn to adopt.
Yeah.
But I guess the self-esteem was built as well.
Yeah.
So, for example, what was your thought when you were, for example, 55? So after your complete transformation, do you have still, at this time, what was your doubt and fears, for example?
When I finally was finished with the surgery and I started to be in daily life, there was no running to the psychologist and stuff anymore, and also the hormones had leveled out. As I thought, now I'm myself. Now it's okay. Now I can start to live. So that's what I thought. And the more you can do that, and the more you get accepted by the outside as well, it kind of gives you feedback that you're in the right position. And I think, or that's the feedback I get from the situations in daily life, as long as I don't open my mouth, people don't realize that something
And still,
is
you
different.
have a perfect voice.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, it was what I was saying to you yesterday.
Yeah.
Is when you book your room here.
Yeah.
We had maybe 3 minutes phone call to find some details, and I didn't realize actually you was a man. And when you came here, my first impression was not something tricky. Okay, well, she's Susanne. I didn't. No question pushed up in my mind. Okay, and then because later, next day, you talk about it. Okay, okay, understood. But
yeah, it doesn't matter.
This exactly it is the reason why I like this talk and to share it with my people on homoheureux.fr. It's because I feel you are very self-centered, self-aligned about this, and we feel no hunger, no doubt, no questioning about is it do I am a woman or this kind of topic. And that's why I'm speaking about self-confidence at this level.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. And for you, it was comfortable to go with women? Because, okay, you are lesbian, so.
Right.
Okay, you don't have also joy, etc. You're running up, you're taking off in your new life.
Sure. Yeah.
And for you, it's obvious, it's easy to go, or do you get some bad judgment, or some strange feedback from women? Lesbian, I mean.
Not so far personally. I have read some forums and stuff on the internet that some of them are really tough against themselves, maybe, and also against the society, and so they would not accept anyone that was not born in a female body as a woman. So they say you're a transformed man. But in my way of thinking, I'm a woman born in a male body. So that's the way I look at it, but they look at it differently. But I never really met someone that would not kind of accept me. And a lot of women, when we, by coincidence, come up with a topic about my voice, they say, oh, I know a lot of women that have a lower voice than you, and I never realized that there is anything different than from any other woman. So for me, it's like so much easier to be myself now. I don't have to control my movements anymore. I don't have to be insecure about how to behave, whatever. So I'm more genuine now in my way of living, and that gives me a lot of self-esteem. That's for sure. Yeah. And also the feedback of other people, for sure. Yeah.
Yes,
because that's good.
Yes. Are you happy in love today?
Not really at the moment. I'm single, and we'll see. We'll find out. I have also. It's also my part to, after a big disappointment, to be able to go out again and meet other women and go to places where
it's easy for you to go.
Yeah, I live close to Zurich, and this place is that's I think the biggest place in the German part of Switzerland where I live, where women for women activities take place.
And do you use some meeting apps?
I haven't been. My self-esteem in this respect was not big enough so far that I would be able to go out and say, "I'm here. I'm Susanne. I have been, born in this male body," because this other woman that gave me this big disappointment was not accepting me in my female way, and I'm still. I fear, to be open. I fear another rejection. So that kind of blocks me from being accepted as well. So I have to overcome this.
Okay.
It's not so easy.
and so today, if I bring you in some lesbian bar, you will feel okay?
Yes, for sure. And this would be great.
And you go to talk with women, and you will comment on dit, try to seduce or something like that?
Or be seduced, whatever.
Yes, okay,
That's maybe more my side. That I would like to have someone come up and
how do you think you will manage this fear of rejection? So,
I have to go over it. I have to take action myself. I have to, how do I say that? It could be that I will be disappointed one more time, but not taking this as a personal really go down, but accept that this can happen. But excuse me, if I don't take any risk, I won't have any fun. That's the point.
Yeah. All right.
But it's easier said than done.
Yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
And okay, I propose you to speak about transgender, transidentity, transsexuality. So you understood properly, Susanne is lesbian today. So I guess transgender, transidentity, or transsexuality is not really for you, those words, because you are a woman. Maybe those words was for you when you were doing your transformation.
Yes, so that's something I have had a discussion with my female doctor. He's female to male.
Okay.
That's because, so I met him. He's a specialist. He's a great guy. And I said, I'm not trans anymore. And he said, because I have done the whole transition. And he said, but you have done a transition, so you're still trans. But for me, I think, for me personally, I take a transition is a state of being. For me. It's a transition that has a start and has an end. And my transition has ended. So in my mind, I would say I'm a woman that likes women and has a trans background. So that's, for me personally, the way I would like to put it. And I will also speak up to that. Yeah. And if people can accept it, fine. And if they don't, fine as well.
Yes. And I have the sensation that you never had homophobic experience or that kind of stuff.
No, that was not. I think even when I was younger or was a kid, the concentration was on the female side. I was always more at ease with females. I felt nearer. They understood me. I understood them. We had the same wording with men or boys. When I was smaller, we were playing cowboy and Indians and stuff like that, and I had my little cards to play around. But somehow deeper discussion never took place. It was like comrades, but not like friends. And with women, I never had that problem. So the focus was more on that side normally.
Yeah. At this time, you had life with women.
Sure. Yeah.
You never felt gay as well.
No.
Maybe that helped too, to don't develop a homophobic reaction, maybe in yourself first and then from side.
I don't know. I've never did a lot of I didn't do a lot of thinking in that mind, because male homophobic reaction was not, or action myself was not a topic, because I didn't really feel well in that male body anyhow. And I thought, when I was a youngster, I thought I'd rather be on the lower part and receive instead of the guy on top and giving. But at that time, it didn't make any sense. It was just something that I felt, but I couldn't put it into the connection of that life, because it was in the mid-70s and no one ever talked. The word trans person didn't exist.
Yes.
So I could not make maybe it would have helped a lot to go through the whole thing earlier, but it didn't, so what?
Yes. And so sometimes you said, when we were talking, that when you start to speak, for example, in the pastry shop, you have some guy who can watch you strangely and have big eyes on you and say, oh, what is something, maybe what happened with her? The voice doesn't match, maybe, as you said yesterday,
Yeah.
That's
true that, if I go to a shop and I stand there and wait to be served, maybe la boucherie, le boulanger, the look and the behavior, the movements are all okay. But if I start talking, then I see the male faces turn, because for them there is some mismatch, kind of. The voice does not fit what they expect, because they expect a higher voice. And lots of women don't realize that. Most of them, 2% maybe say, or maybe they have had contact with other people in my or in the vice versa situation. But for the male, it starts to be disharmony type thing. And for women, it doesn't.
And so, two questions. Did you had bad experience about that kind of stuff?
Almost none. I think I've had sometimes a couple teenagers, a group of teenagers that started laughing at me, but maybe it was in the beginning when I had also the hair in my face still, because that had to be removed with laser and so on. And but I think the grown-up people and the kids, they accept me the best. It's the hardest for people in teenage age, where they will find, they're trying to find themselves. And in a group, it's easier to make fun about someone else that's not part of the
teenager, group. Yes, I guess is they're asking for themselves as well.
That's it.
And so when you get this face change on some men, what do you think? What are you thinking at this time? What is your fears or question or emotion?
It's sad in a way that the people cannot take it, but I don't know their background. And sometimes nowadays it's so easy to change names and to change their gender in society. And maybe these people had some problems with someone that did that, and in a way does not really live in this new behavior in this new role. And then they're not sure what kind of person I am. Am I really at the end of my transition? Am I in the middle? And if they don't see either a woman or a man, they're not feeling comfortable. So they think, what do I see? Do I see someone in between? I don't feel comfortable. Maybe that comes from there. But personally offended, I'm not.
Okay. No. And so you continue your life, okay?
Yeah,
for you, it's not a topic.
No, I don't have to go and teach the person that I'm this or that.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yes. Thank you to bring this topic. Actually, I wanted to ask, what are you thinking? You know, we see sometimes younger people that are trans and starting or inside the process of transformation, and they are very susceptible, very sensitive.
Yeah.
When we say he, she wrongly, we're making fun about gender, and they really overreact, and it's right away a big topic for them. What do you have something to say to them?
Yes, I have something to say in this respect. I did go through the whole thing myself, for sure, because when you start to change, then you have to learn how to act and react and talk and do movements. And when you're finally convinced that you're in the right gender and you're still learning, or you're new, almost new in the field, and someone does not accept you, then your personality is being shaken and you're not taking serious. That's what I thought when I was in this situation. But I think it does not help if you just kind of jump on the other person and start to correct them. I now see that from 10 years back, but at that time I also thought I would like to convince the person in front of me that I'm like this, and maybe not perfectly moving my body or whatever, but just accept that these people might have a background with a bad memory or with being unsecure themselves about what they are. I mean, if I show up in my role and there's another person, a man, and then maybe he starts to think, could this also be a part of my living, that I would be maybe for a weekend or so. In women's situation, I would like that. So you make them insecure because they start to think about their own life. So don't offend too much, because a reaction from a person towards you, good or bad, is always related to the person itself. So yeah, take it a little easier and don't offend, because it's not going to do any good to you, and it certainly will not help the person in front of you. It will make it either mad or more insecure about the next meeting with that person.
Most of the time, I propose to those people to ask themselves, do the person I have in front of me has a bad intention, or is well intentioned? This, I guess, is a good question to. Yeah. Okay, he is making fun at me, or is it just a talking like this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Écoute, I have lots of questions, extra, but it's difficult to. I get the question and I leave, and you take a topic, and anyway, thank you very much, Susanne. I'm very touched by your authenticity, genuine way, etc. Do you want to share something? Do you have some personal message to give to the LGBT community?
Well, I would like to give this to anyone, I think. So, yes, consider where you are, what you are, and try to live with all that you are. And if you have people around you, like family, friends, that do not understand you, try to explain it. And there's so many possibilities today. Like, you could also go out and change at this place and be a woman or a man on the other side for 2 or 3 hours within a group of these friends. Go back to this room, change back into your clothing, go back home. And with living yourself, then you can find out where you really belong. And try to open up yourself and the other persons around you to the best way for everyone to live with. And the getting mad at each other, that's something that's maybe nowadays a little bit exaggerated, because everyone thinks I'm so much individual, I have to be accepted by anyone the way I want to be. No, other people also have their advantages, disadvantages. They like to see this or they like to see that. So respect that as well. So be yourself, but don't try to convince others that your being is the most important in life.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, and if you have any question, you can write them down. If you are watching us from YouTube, downstairs you have comments. You can drop your question or comments, and I will reply to them. Maybe Susanne will reply to them. Sure. If you have any question extra, I would love to make other videos about those topics: transidentité, transsexualité, transgender, etc. And qu'est-ce que je voulais ajouter? And yes, and if you want to go further, you have LGBT guide free you can download from my website. It's called Comment être un homo heureux et épanoui. C'est en français, and you can download it from my website. You have the link just below the video, and you can find this podcast from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube, my website, homoheureux.fr, and anywhere you can download and listen to podcast. Thank you very much, Susanne. It was a great time.
Yes, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and see you maybe soon. I don't know.
I hope so. I like this place very much. I would like to retourner à la Cévennes.
Voilà.
Pour moi, c'est une cause de cœur.
Merci à toi qui nous regarde. À une prochaine fois dans un futur podcast homoheureux.fr. Bye bye.
Merci.
Thank you.